The U1 Ultra, let's check it out. Guys, I carry a knife in my pocket for my EDC every day. A number of different reasons, but what I use it overwhelmingly for is a box cutter or a utility knife. And today we're going to take a look at the U1 Ultra from O-Knife. One of the problems with using your standard EDC knife with cutting tape or glue, and it gets crud all over it and it gets sticky and you have to keep it clean and it dulls the blade. And so having a small utility knife really comes in handy. And the U1 Ultra is not just your standard box cutter. This is something that actually you'd be pretty proud to have in your pocket. But you'll notice that white blade, and this is a ceramic blade. We're going to talk about some reasons why there are some advantages to a ceramic blade over a stainless steel blade, and also just the styling of the U1 Ultra. Now guys, O-Knife is having their Prime Day sale from July 8th through July 15th, and it's 20% off. There'll be a link down below in the description. It'll take you straight to the sale. And guys, you have a choice between the O aluminum, which this is the natural color, which is 1.5 times stronger than standard aluminum. Or you can get the O aluminum with an OD green finish, and they have titanium. So it's a great time to pick up a really stylish box cutter that's very effective. And we want to give O-Knife a big thank you for sending the U1 Ultras for this review. All right guys, the O-Knife U1 Ultra. Utility knife, razor, box cutter. It's just one of those, you do it all. Now the ceramic blade is definitely something that is different. This is a zirconium oxide ceramic blade. It has a 1200 HV hardness. This is 10 times sharper than stainless steel, which is pretty impressive. It retains a sharpness. It resists corrosion, conductivity, it reduces friction, and it prevents buildup. And the edge lasts 85% longer than your steel blade. Now, we're going to do some testing with these. We're going to check them out. I like the titanium, but honestly, this has become one of my favorite materials. And this is the O aluminum, and we're going to do some testing on it. This is the natural color. O-Lite and O-Knife have been producing some different options for this. It's just one of those materials that is just out there. It's something that nobody else is doing, and yet there's a lot of great properties to it. In fact, here's my arc failed, and I have a number of different items that are in this material. I love it, and this stuff is incredible. And then we have just the green. Now the green is O aluminum, but it has an anodized finish over it. Now one of the things about this knife, and we're going to look at a number of different options, some different things that I want you to consider when it comes to a razor, and especially the ceramic. First off, you have just the flipper, and then we have our thumb studs. And that just pops it out. A lot of people like the thumb stud more than the flipper. I mean, there's a contention about which is best and what you're used to. And then there's just the lock button, which is right here. Now you can actually bring this out just like that, or you can just push it and open it. And then when you want to close it, you drop it. Now that's one thing that's great about really safety, because you're bringing this out and you may only have one hand, and instead of putting this across your leg and catching that edge, you can just drop it and then you can just close it. So 3 different ways to be able to open this knife, and closing it is really safe. I love the body. That has jimping right here on this edge, and it's just got an open design. We have a lock system, and we're going to look at that a little bit closer in a second, but this really secures the blade into place. It actually comes with this small tool where you can take this, and we'll take it off, and you can adjust this and replace your blade. But I tested it with the standard type stainless steel blade, and these will fit in the U1. So in case you have an issue and you don't have a replacement, I mean, these are very easy to get. And they do have their Pro model, which is an older model, and they have a couple of others, but this is really the state of the art and the one I really want to talk about. In fact, both of my sons that needed a razor knife for work, and I gave one of them an O knife, and I believe the other one I had a Wee knife that was a steel blade, and you know, they use those things like crazy. They can't carry a standard knife, but they can carry a utility knife or a razor. Plus, this gives you a lot of surface to be able to cut. Now, we're going to test these out, and I'm going to show you some things about why you would really want the ceramic. And guys, from everything I've read and seen, the ceramic blades are just top-notch. Now open, they're 5.6 inches in length. When it's closed, it's 3.38 inches. They weigh 3.25 ounces. And so they're very handy, very easy to carry in your pocket. Now, I'm not saying to replace your EDC knife, but what do you use the most? And honestly, for me, opening boxes seems to be one of the things that I do, and my family for that matter. I mean, packages are always coming to the house. Now, there's a blue bazillion type razor knives or utility knives. I've been using these for years, and they have the standard flat, square, or rectangular blade. Just replace it. And you know, these are great. They do kind of start to wear if you don't use them often, and they get gunk on them, and then they start to corrode. And that's one of the things that's a big property with the ceramic is they don't corrode, they don't rust, and they're very easy to clean. And two, this is just out and in, and sometimes it can slip down, and actually that could be a safety feature. Then they have the standard little small razors like this. I mean, this is a great little knife, or razor knife, and you know, it closes up. It's very handy, has a small blade to it, but they make bigger ones. There's a ton of different options of these. But they're typically very cheaply made. I mean, this one does have aluminum scales, and the steel, you know, it looks okay, but compared to the U1, I mean, there is a huge difference. And then there are the big ones, and this is one that actually I've used quite a bit to cut boxes when I'm burning different cardboard, or I'm getting rid of it, or I need to break it down, and I use a big knife like this, and then you break off the tip. But as you can see, I mean, there's already rust forming in here, there's just gunk on it, and that just comes with cutting a lot of boxes and cardboard. Then you have your standard scrapers, which you can use this as well, and this is really an old one. But I mean, again, guys, there's a bazillion different options out there for your razors or your utility knives. And guys, here I just pulled out a couple of my knives, and you can see where it has the tape residue or whatever that's just on there. I mean, and you just have to keep that clean, and that glue, the adhesive sticks to the blade, and not only does it look bad, but it can be a pain to clean up. And the one thing about O aluminum is that it is indestructible. Just wipe that off, and you can hardly tell. There's just a little tiny bit of scuffing on it, but these things are really strong, even with a drill. I mean, on most finishes, that would just tear it up. Just wipe it down, and you can barely tell anything's even been touching it. Little scuffs, you can see them, but they're just very minor, and it's just mainly just the material, but super strong. And these blades come in really sharp. Again, these are 10 times the sharpness of steel. And with your boxes, I mean, the stuff just cuts. And even when we have a piece of leather. This is crazy. Paracord, I mean, that is like cutting it like butter. And it has a deep pocket clip, pretty sturdy. This cannot be switched to the other side. And that deep carry clip goes right into your pocket, rides really deep, and easy to deploy to cut those boxes open. Of course, the real test is cutting tape. And while that's easy to do with about any knife, you definitely get that crud all over it, and it just makes it very difficult. And really, with the length of this blade, you could actually do some food preparation. Now, is this an outdoor knife? You're going to take it out and baton wood? No. This is definitely a utility knife, and it's made for that. But man, that is really handy, and it just stays sharp. Now, one question that I had are replacement blades for the ceramic. Are they available? And I found actually an Amazon listing where they're $15 for 10 blades. And so you can check that out and look. But I don't know if they're actually coming directly from O-Knife. I'm sure that they'll have replacement blades available. But if not, you can go on Amazon. It's just your standard trapezoid ceramic blades. Now, when it comes to removing the blade, here this little lock, it is locked, and really you can't do it with your hands. You need a small tool, and so they provide it. And so we go the opposite direction of the lock, just like this. And I'm glad that it gives me the direction, and actually you can do it with your hand. So out comes the screw. Once you get the screw out, you can just pull it straight out. It takes a little bit of wiggling just to get it, but there we go. And then this area right here is all stainless steel. And so then you have your O aluminum here. So this gives it a lot of strength, and there is some jimping right here at the top. And then here you can see your ambidextrous thumb studs. Then to replace it, you just go straight in. Make sure that it's secure here. Then I'm going to take my screw and go ahead and just put it in, and I'm going to start out hand tight. And then we can use the tool. Then just lock in and then just tighten that down. Now the retail price is $54.99. With the Prime Day sale, it's 20% off. These are $43.99. Lifetime warranty, and they do free shipping. So guys, if you're tired of using your EDC knife and cleaning it and keeping all the tape and crud off of it from opening boxes, check out the U1 Ultra from O-Knife. Again, that O aluminum, the ceramic blade, which is really superior to your steel blades. It cuts almost twice as long. And yet, if you want, you can put in a standard stainless steel blade if that's what you like. But this gives you a really stylish, very usable, 3 ways to open, and a really high quality, and you have a lifetime warranty. And again, they're having their Prime Day sale from July 8th through July 15th. The link down below in the description will take you straight to the Amazon page. And we want to give a big thank you to O-Knife for sending the U1 Ultras for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. And we want to give a big thank you to O-Knife. Now, of course, Amazon's having their Prime Day sale, and I don't even know when it is. I don't even know when it is. Because it keeps this thing, because the O-Knife U1 Ultra, I carry one every day. I also drop things, But all the parts, okay. Now the UL Ultra is it the UL or U1?